make sure you grab these safety glasses, and you'll notice they're numbered, that belong to your station. So when it's your turn, if you're in station 1, you're going to come up, grab station 1 safety glasses, put them on. For your hovercraft, you are going to need a variety of tools, and those will get pointed out in the...
Now your instructor will point out if you need test batteries. In my room, they're right here in the holder next to the solder. If you need a pen, right at the beginning, they're once again right over here in the holder, and they are marked with a number for your station. So the pens are right here, test batteries are right here, solder's right here on the corner of my teacher desk in my room.
You are going to be making a hovercraft, which is a vehicle that floats on air. This is an example right here that I have, right? And you can see it's moving around. It's getting rid of friction by floating off the table. Now, to build this, you're going to need a variety of tools. One of the very first things you and your partner need to do is take your safety glasses and put them on. You're then going to go to the tool location and get a variety of tools. We may not get to all of the tools today, but you're going to want to get them out so you know where they're at. And also, some things that you need are going to need time to warm up. One of the first things you're going to need is a pen. If you do not have a pen, you can see there's ones that are marked with your station number that you may use. And these will be pointed out.
If you need a pen, right at the beginning, they're once again right over here in the holder, and they are marked with a number for your station. So the pens,
you're going to need a
pen.
Right here. You're going to need a hole punch that once again has your station number on it. You're going to need a pair of wire cutters / strippers, and once again they're going to have your station number on it. You're going to need a pair of scissors, once again that has your station number on it. You're going to need your roll of duct tape, and once again you'll see when you turn it, you have your station number on it. You're going to need your glue gun, which will have your station number on it, and it should be wrapped around the middle right here when you go to pick it up. When you go to get it out, we're going to unwrap, but I'll show that in a little bit. You're also going to need a soldering iron, once again, that matches your station number. There's going to be a ruler that once again will match your station number, and a foam template that once again will match your station number. And lastly but not leastly, a bottle of glue, just a normal little school glue, that once again will have your station number. These are all the tools that you're going to need to make your hovercraft. You can see there's quite a few of them, and your instructor will point out where they go and how they get put away. Now, we may not get to the soldering iron today. We probably will get to the glue gun today, but these two both need time to warm up. So we're going to start with showing you how to plug these in and how to put them away carefully and safely. With the soldering iron, you should find that when you pull this out, right, you'll notice there aren't any lights on. It's not plugged in. It could be warm though from the previous class, so do not touch the metal part right here. We hold it once again, like the safety test said, by the handle. But you'll notice when I pull this out, it's wound around the holder. And you'll see that the part that plugs in is pulled tight against the holder. So when we go to put it away, I'm going to demonstrate that this gets pulled in tightly against here, and then we wrap it up. But to plug it in, I unwrap it so that I can pull this cord through the holder. Then at your station, you're going to have a power strip, and you're going to come over and you're going to plug your soldering iron in to the holder, making sure that there aren't any cords, such as the headphone cords that you'll be wearing, right? The mouse cord, making sure there's nothing over here and that this cord is not laying on top of anything hot. So I have that all pushed back and plugged in. Now you're going to notice that the lights have come on. That tells us that our power strip is on. If for some reason you wouldn't see any lights, your power strip is most likely turned off. Check with your instructor, they'll show you how to turn that back on. But so once again, I make sure the cords are not anywhere near the hot end of the soldering iron. I'm then going to take my glue gun, and once again, you can see how it's wrapped around the middle. I'm going to very carefully undo the glue gun, remembering that this metal part right here, the warning sticker says will burn flesh, that's the hot part. I unwind the cord all the way from the glue gun. I then go ahead and set it down, once again making sure it's not touching any of the wires. And I plug my glue gun in. Once again down here on the power strip. Okay, so I have my soldering iron plugged in, my glue gun plugged in. They're now both going to be warming up. Now when you are done using the soldering iron and glue gun, you're going to unplug them. Make sure you pull at the end of the soldering iron and the end of the glue gun. Alright, so don't pull by the cord, pull by the actual end. Now with the soldering iron, you're going to make sure solder gets put back in the bin that your instructor showed you. Sandpaper would get put back where you were shown to get it from. But you're going to take your soldering iron. You have the power cord. You're going to pull that power cord all the way in. Once it's pulled in and against the holder, you can take the wire and you can wrap it around, going counterclockwise, the holder until you get back into the end. So you would put the holder back, cords wrapped up, this would then be ready to be put away. With the glue gun, you're going to go ahead and hold it down here by the handle, take the cord, wrap it right around the center, making sure the cord isn't touching the hot metal, right? And you would go ahead, put it back in the holder after you've wrapped the cord around the middle. When it comes to the tools, what we're going to start with and need are the scissors, our foam template, our hole punch, our pen, and our bottle of glue, and then eventually our duct tape. So the wire strippers I can put off to the side, the ruler I can move off to the side, I can move the duct tape and glue over till I need them. But my partner and I are going to get some material from our instructor. And what you're going to get is a baggie that has all your parts. You're also going to get a foam plate, which will become our hovercraft. The third thing you're going to get, or last thing you're going to get from your instructor, is a hovercraft air chute. I'm going to explain how you will use this and how you'll put it together. But those are the things we're going to start with. So for right now, we're going to go to our baggie of materials and we're going to make sure we have everything we have. Now there's going to be one bag per person, but you and your partner are going to go ahead and take the baggie and you're going to empty out its contents and you're going to make sure you have everything you need. Now, the first thing you should have is a motor. Okay? So the first thing I should have is a motor. I should then have a little switch that moves on and off. I should have a propeller. I should have 1, 2, 3, 4 brass tabs. 2 spiral binder clips. I should have 1 black wire, 1 red wire, and 2 balsa wood sticks. Now, if you would be missing any of these items, you would let your instructor know. Sometimes when these kits are getting put together, a wire gets left out, a brass tab, whatever it might be, might get left out. But if you're missing any of these items, let your instructor know so they can get you a replacement. But after today, you should have all your stuff because you're going to keep it in the baggie. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to put all of our stuff back in the baggie so we don't have any of it roll away or get lost. And we'll get it out as we need it. We're now going to start working on our hovercraft itself. And what we're going to need is a pen and a template. Now you'll notice there's a hole in your plate and there's a hole in the template. You simply line those two holes up, right? And you can kind of see if I'm looking, sometimes the hole's not perfectly drilled in the center. If there's one side that's a little closer or a little farther, you can decide which way you want it to go. I'm going to go ahead and put what will be my switch, the small hole, on this side. So I'm going to go ahead, kind of balance it out on the plate, and I'm going to take the pen and I'm going to simply make a rectangle right here where it says draw, and you'll notice the template says draw right here. Over here it says draw, and right here it says cut. So I'm going to lay my template on, line it up with the hole, and I'm going to make a rectangle. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the little one. And the little one I'm going to leave open. The one that I drew over here on the side for the batteries, I'm going to go ahead and just make little lines. So I take that template off, and what my plate looks like is I have a spot for the batteries, and I got a spot for the switch. The batteries said draw. The switch said cut. We only cut out the switch. And the way that's done is you're going to get your hole punch, and you're going to take this in here, and you're going to slide it in to your plate. So you can see I go right into where the hole is, and I go inside that rectangle, and I punch. Slide it over a little bit, punch it again, slide it over one more time, and if you need to, you can clean up a little bit more of it. But you're going to do your best, right, to punch out the hole. So you can see I've taken that rectangle and I've punched it out. Our switch is eventually going to go ahead and get put inside there. But so we start with laying out our batteries and cutting out our switch. That's all we're going to do with this template. I'm not going to need this template anymore after today, so this one will get put back. But so I have my batteries laid out, my switch is now cut out, and we're ready to do a few other steps. Our next step, we're going to go ahead and put the plate over the side, is to use our air chute. Now, to make our air chute, there's two of them here, right? And what you'll see is it says a line up top, right? Comes down and there's these little dashes. And right below, there's another air chute. And then you see where it has the dashes, and then there's these two rectangles. I'm going to show you how to cut this out, but before you cut it out, what you're going to do, it says name, period, name, period. Where it says name, you're going to write your first and last name, whatever period you might be in. Then you're going to have your partner take the pen, and they're going to write their first name and their last name, right? Once again, their period. So I've written in my first and last name, and then my class period. I'm now ready to take the scissors, and I'm going to cut this out. So what that's going to look like is the following. I'm going to take my scissors, and I'm going to cut. So you'll see the dashed lines that go down. I'm going to cut on top of the other air chute, going right through, cutting out the top one from the bottom one. And you'll take turns. One partner will cut out theirs, then the other partner will go to cut theirs out. Now, on the top one, you have where it says produced by an AutoCAD educational product, and you have the top line of the air chute. You can take your scissors and you can trim that off. All right, so I have one air chute cut out. My partner, right, this piece would get put in the trash. My partner would then come over to their air chute, and they would go to the bottom of those dashed lines once again. And they're going to cut all the way across, going on top of where it says glue, glue. And they're going to go all the way across. All right, so I have two identical air chutes. One has my name, one has my partner's name. Now these air chutes need a little piece added to them, and you'll see where it says glue, 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 glue. They're two squares or rectangles that you're going to cut out. So I cut this out as one piece. So what that looks like is I come in, I cut across. Once again, I would take my scraps, throw them away. Right, so I have this square rectangle that says glue, glue. One goes to one partner. Do the same. For the other partner. Once again, I have scrap paper. I take my scraps. When my partner and I are done, whether it's now or at the end of class, we take them over and we throw them in the trash can. Now, I have an air chute and it's almost ready to go, but I need to do a few things to it. First, you'll see right here where it says glue, and then over here where it says glue. I need to attach this piece to one of those sides. It doesn't matter if it's on the left or right. Either side will be fine. But you see where it says glue, and you see where it says glue? You're going to take that little bottle of school glue, and you're going to twist it open, and you're going to put a very thin bead of white glue down on top of where it says glue. And I'm going to show you what that looks like, right? Not a ton of glue. I'm then going to take where it says glue, and right up to that line, I'm going to bring the pattern, and I'll show you what I mean, and I'm going to press and hold that down, and I can kind of take my finger and even it out, but you're going to have to hold. But you're going to take your thumb and fingers, and you're going to press and hold down for about 1 minute. So once you get it lined up to the line, you're going to press and hold, and you can kind of take your fingers and smooth it out a bit so they spread that glue out, but you're going to hold for 1 minute. So if you need to, you can take a look at the clock on your computer, you can take a look at the clock on your watch, the clock on the wall, but you're going to let that hold and dry for about 1 minute. Once it's been a minute, you can go ahead and let go, and you'll see, I can still see that black line, so it's right up there against that edge. All right, so I have that right up there against the edge. Now, the other side says glue, and then over here says glue, because eventually we're going to glue this together like this to make our air chute. But first, we need to do a few things. It says cut slits up to the line. So that means we're going to cut the dashed line up to this line that runs at the bottom of your air chute. So we're going to take our scissors, and over here where we got those dashed lines, we're going to cut all the way up to the line. If you go a little past, it's fine. But you're going to just simply take your air chute, and right along each dashed line, you're going to take your scissors, and you're going to cut all the way up till you get to that line. Now remember, you only have one pair of scissors, so you have to take turns sharing this responsibility. But you don't leave your partner behind. You let one person go, then the other person goes. We cut those slits all the way across our air chute. We now need to glue this together and then bend these up. So to do that, we're going to put glue right here where it says glue on that tab that we just glued. So on that other side, we're going to go ahead and we're going to put a little bit of glue again. All right, what that might look like. once again so you can see it nice and clear. There's just a thin bead of glue. We're then going to take our air chute and we're going to bump it right up against that other piece of paper. And once again, we're going to go ahead and kind of smear it down, spread it across, and we're going to press and hold with our thumb and fingers for at least 1 minute. Right? So you're literally just waiting for glue to dry. If you let go too early, it's going to come apart. So once again, you're going to wait for at least 1 minute. And once again, you can look at the clock on your computer, you can look at the clock on the wall, you can look at your watch. But you're going to go ahead and you're going to let that dry for a minute. Now once it's dry, it should stop moving around on you, and you should be able to let go. When it's dry, you're going to come back and you're going to take those tabs that you cut and you're going to bend them out. So you're going to take your fingers and you're going to bend those tabs out. All right, so I'm just working my way around, bending the tabs down and around. And what it's going to look like is this. So you can see if I set it down flat on the table, the tabs are all bent nice and up. Right? And I have my air chute. Our next step is going to be to get our plate. And what you're going to do is you're going to line that up with the inside of the hole, and you're going to push that up through the hole so it goes down on those tabs that we just bent over. And if you have to push your paper and bend it a little bit, it's fine. As it goes through, it'll straighten itself out. Okay, so I have it on there, and I'm just going to push that down on top of my air chute. I then can kind of come back, pull up on it a little bit, flip it over to the inside, push that down and around so it's sitting flat on the inside of my hovercraft. Now you're going to notice something, right? I cut that hole out, right? And I have some tabs in the way right there. So where I have tabs and I have my switch and they're in the way, I might be able to turn it a little bit so it's just one tab that I would have to take out, right? But I would bend up, making sure my tabs aren't covering up the hole that I punched in there. And like I said, if you need to, you can spin it around a little bit. But what you're going to do is you need to remember that you have feet that move, and you're going to go over to the glue gun. So I'm not going to pull it across. I'm going to get up and walk around to the glue gun. Right? And once again, you're going to take turns sharing with your partner. But I'm going to get up, I'm going to move around to my glue gun. I'm going to come over to the glue gun, and I can start probably over by that switch so I make sure I don't cover up the hole, but I'm going to put just a little tab of glue, and I'm going to press down. Now this is going to take you a little while, but you're just going to simply put a little dab of glue, press down. All right, lift up the next tab, put a little dab of glue. It's not a huge amount. Press down. All right, so I'm making sure it's flat to the plate. And I'm just going to keep working my way all the way around the hovercraft, pushing down and flat to my folded lines. I would recommend just doing one tab at a time. That way it doesn't cool on you with the glue gun. And sometimes this is a lot easier if you have one partner kind of run the glue gun, the other partner push their tabs down. That can be very helpful. All right, but you're just going to work your way all the way around your plate. Now, as you're working your way around, putting your hot glue on, and you get towards the end, you might get a little bit of hot glue on your thumb or your fingers. When you do, it just simply take your finger, rub them together, the glue will come right off. But you're going to have that one tab or tabs, like I said, that you want to take off that are going to be in the way of the hole. Just simply take your scissors, come down in, and cut that part free. Once again, making sure you throw that in the trash. So I have my air chute glued down nice and flush, right? And it looks kind of like a top hat, right? I could wear it like a hat. So my air chute is going up. I can see my battery tabs. Everything is where it needs to be. Now, once you and your partner have these both done, you need to glue one more thing on to your hovercraft while you're over here with the glue gun. So I'm going to go into my baggie, and I'm going to get
my spiral binder clips, and I'm going to glue those down where the battery marks are. But I need to pay attention to the clip. You want to lift them up and make sure that little hook is on the inside. All right, so you'll see what I'm talking about if I kind of zoom in here a bit. You can see there's this little hook. I want to make sure those are to the inside so they're not anything on the bottom. So this should be nice and smooth, and those clips should not be coming around. Once again, I'm going to take my glue gun. I'm going to run a bead of hot glue down the battery clip. I'm then going to go ahead, roll it over and push down right on top of where the mark was for the glue. And this will take a few seconds to dry, but you want to kind of hold it nice and straight because that glue can kind of bend it around a bit. But I'm just going to hold that down for about 30 seconds, letting that set in place. I then would do the same to the other one so I can see. Right now it's not smooth, I'm catching the hooks. I move the hooks inside so the bottom is nice and smooth. I take my glue gun, run my bead of glue down the clip, roll it down onto the battery holder, and then I'm going to push for about 30 seconds, letting that dry in place.